Oh, I'm gonna look absolutely wackadoo. Jeez. Okay.
Whether you like it or not, drag has been a part of theater since its early days.
I already put the bass on, alright? Because it's gonna take me long enough, especially trying to record.
Drag queens have drastically helped shape the theatrical arts as much, if not more, than almost anyone else. Drag is a performance of exaggerated clothing traditionally associated with the opposite gender and has a rich and varied history in theater. Drag usually involves cross-dressing in some kind of way. A drag queen is someone, usually male, who performs femininely, and a drag king is someone, usually female, who performs masculinely.
We all know what drag is, right? Now, everybody may not respect it, but that's their problem. It's an art form like any other. So, of course, this is just an homage to said art form.
The performances of drag performers often involve comedy, social satire, and at times political commentary. From ancient origins to modern stages, it's evolved, challenged norms, and entertained audiences worldwide. So let's talk about it. In ancient Greece, male actors played female roles as women were excluded from the stage. Women were excluded from participating in theatrical performances. This societal norm dictated that male actors would portray all characters, regardless of gender. This practice was deeply ingrained in the cultural and social fabric of the time. A female actor was seen as being even lower than a prostitute. The concerns voiced by figures like Plato and Socrates highlight the complex social attitudes surrounding gender and performance. And I do have a video coming out in a few months about the history of sexism in theater. Their worries about degrading male actors stemmed from this belief that displaying female emotions and characteristics was inherently less dignified for a man.
I do eyebrows in all place. I have very thick eyebrows and don't have eyebrows.
This shows us that even though it was common practice, it was still topic of debate for men to be dressing and playing the parts of women. In essence, the practice of male actors playing female roles in ancient Greek theater serves as a significant precursor for the modern concept of drag, albeit within a vastly different social and cultural climate. Now, let's talk about the Shakespearean era. During the Shakespearean era, adolescent boys often took on the female character roles due to the still societal restrictions on women participating in theater. These boys were what we called boy players. Their physical characteristics usually were less developed, their physiques were not as muscular, and their voices were higher, which made them to be a lot more convincing in women's attire. The social restrictions placed on women in the Elizabethan England were very severe. They were largely confined to domestic roles, and public participation in professions like theater was very inappropriate.
Oh, I'm gonna look absolutely wackadoo. Jeez. Okay.
This social context meant that Shakespeare's plays, despite their rich, complex female characters for the most part, were initially performed without any women.
The funniest part for me, not just now, but even back in the day, when it comes to drag, is the absolute crazy double standard. That's all. How are we always talking about how men and boys should be masculine and not feminine, but then we don't allow women to play feminine roles on stage? It really never made sense, right?
Even though audience in the time were used to it, the absence of female actors was definitely felt and attracted the portrayal of characters like Lady Macbeth, Cleopatra, and Juliet. I said attracted, I meant affected. The emotional range, physical presence, and lived experience that female actors could have brought to these roles were not seen in the boy players. Because of that, it's believed that the reason there was so much physical comedy was to present in some of the plays used to cover up.
And of course, the male fantasy of female characters is like a spectrum, right? It goes from all the way from damsel in distress to femme fatale to, well, just let me finish that list because I'm trying to.
The eventual inclusion of women on stage revolutionized the way Shakespeare's female characters were portrayed. Female actors brought a new level of authenticity, complexity, and power to those roles, which allowed audience to be fully immersed in and actually appreciate the depth of Shakespeare's writing, assuming it was his. The first woman to appear in a Shakespearean play did so in 1660, under new theater patents by King Charles. However, we're not here to talk about women. we're here to talk about men. And some of you are probably thinking, what does this have to do with drag? We're getting to the point, I promise. It wasn't until 1660 that Othello was revived for the first time with a woman playing Desdemona. In Eastern traditional opera roles, the kabuki was initially all female, but then transferred over to being male performances. So we can trace kabuki's origins back to Izanomi no Okuna, a female performer who began popularizing a unique style of dance and drama in the early 17th century. Kabuki was initially a troupe which consisted of primarily women, who played both male and female roles. So, while those early performances were often associated with entertainment, which includes elements of sensuality and prostitution, concerns about the public morals and social order took over. The Tokugawa shogunate banned women from performing kabuki in 1629, which led to the development of Yaro kabuki, which was an all-male form of kabuki where the young men took over the female roles, which was called onagata. But they too were eventually banned, and we led to more mature males taking on the onagata roles. Yama were male actors who played female roles in kabuki theater. Meiji area, as Japan underwent rapid modernization and westernization, the efforts were made to elevate kabuki status. During the Meiji era, as Japan underwent rapid modernization and westernization efforts, they were made to elevate kabuki's status. This involved refining performance techniques, emphasizing dramatic content, and distancing kabuki from its earlier association with sensuality, which pushed male kabuki to become a national treasure and something that could be shown to Westerners as a high form of Japanese culture. Kabuki remains a highly respected art form in Japan today. While traditionally performed by male actors, some more modern kabuki companies have began to include female performers. The onagata, or the male actors playing the female roles, still is the core of the kabuki tradition. The onagata, or the male actors who play the female roles, are still the core of the kabuki tradition. In Western opera, cross-gender castings in both directions is pretty standard. Countertenors and sopranists, men singing in female vocal ranges, played female roles, while pants roles featured women playing male characters. At times, these roles were played by cast men who were neutered before adolescence, so as to preserve their prepubescent feminine-sounding voices. Perhaps due to the heightened reality of the operatic music, this type of reverse casting is generally accepted by audience for centuries. In Chinese opera, there is even a history of female impersonators as the greatest stars of the stage, most notably Mei Lenfeng, who toured the world in the early 20th century, performing for Hollywood stars and the heads of state, and who is said to have influenced Brecht and Stanislavski. I can never say his name. So let's talk about modern drag. Modern drag has evolved into a distinct art form, blending performance and personal expression. Modern drag queens and kings are prominent features in entertainment, and drag has become a powerful tool for self-expression and a way for individuals to challenge traditional gender norms.
There's something about a wingtip, and no matter how crazy you look so couture, like vixen eyes.
20th century queer men and women have experimented with cross-dressing to express their individuality apart from traditional society. Its roots in the LGBT liberation movement, particularly the Stonewall Uprising, highlight its historical connection to political activism. However, some drag performers do identify as transgender, while others simply see it as purely a form of artistic expression. Not every drag performer is part of the LGBT community. Contemporary musicals and shows like La Cage aux Folles, Kinky Boots, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Hedwig and the Angry Inch feature drag performers, often in pivotal roles, and explore themes of identity and acceptance. The various men who've played Edna Turnblad in Hairspray illustrate the diverse ways drag and cross-gender castings are used in theater. These performances are often used to challenge the traditional gender roles and offer unique perspective on societal issues. Two-time RuPaul's Drag Race winner Jinx Monsoon made her Broadway debut in Chicago in January of 2023, then returned in the summer of 24. Monsoon made Broadway history during her initial run, becoming the first drag queen to play the role of Mama Morton on Broadway. Her performance broke box office records and played to a standing room only crowds. Modern drag icons like RuPaul, Shangela, Naomi, Sass, and many others have broadened the reach of drag through television, cabaret, and theater. RuPaul's Drag Race has played a significant role in bringing drag into the mainstream to educate a wider audience about LGBT and drag culture. Drag has provided a platform for exploring gender identity and challenging societal norms. It's become a vital part of the LGBTQ plus culture and activism and expression. Drag performers have contributed significantly to the evolution of theater and entertainment. The art of drag has created a more open discussion about gender identity. All of these things greatly and positively impact the theater and Broadway space. Drag has evolved. Drag has evolved from a countercultural expression to a vibrant and individual art form that continues to challenge those societal norms, as it always has, and expand our understanding of gender and identity, even if we do have a long way to go. Drag continues to grow more and more mainstream with every passing year.
I suck jumping on lashes. This video took me over minutes to record as is, so I'm not spending 20 more minutes putting on lashes. So we'll just have to use our imaginations in that part, okay? Well, let's wait up.
As society continues to evolve, drag will continue to be an important part of the arts and of the social commentary.
Okay, so I chose to go with my bright pink wig because I own it and I never get to wear it. Yeah, I bought it. So yeah, that's but again, drag, it's a form of expression. It means nothing about sexuality, and even if it does, it's not your business. It's an art form, it deserves to be appreciated, and it's done a lot to help the theater community as a whole.
Please let me know your favorite drag performer or something interesting that you may have learned in this video.
If you're enjoying me doing the content like this, I don't know if this is good Nancy stand. If you're enjoying me doing the theater content like this, let me know. I got a lot more planned, not as in-depth stuff. I know a little bit more how to do and stuff. Yeah, this has actually been a plan of mine for a while to like dress up while doing the videos and talking about the history. So subscribe, watch some more. There's some playlists around here somewhere. I'm sure other me will say it after me somewhere, and I'll see you in the next video.
And of course, on one side, I have Theater Files where I talk about different theater plays. And on the other side is a video recommended to you by YouTube itself. And of course, until next time, I will see you in the next video.